Hi there, your computer friend Connie here with another video on how to get organized with Gmail. So this video is about taking a whole bunch of emails that you have that have some kind of pattern and being able to kind of organize them into one spot. And so by pattern, I mean maybe it's from the same sender, maybe the same words are in the message. So you have some way of identifying that group of messages. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually put those messages into one distinctive area, and then we're going to have it automatically go to that area each time those new messages come in. Now, making it automatic so it goes there every single time is not required, and you do want to be careful about this example where it's automatic, because when I say automatic, that means rather than come into my inbox in Gmail, it's going to go straight to this other area. And so that means I won't see it unless I look in this other area. And so let me show you, and you can decide whether you wanted to make it automatic or not, or if you just want to clear it up as you go. So to start with, I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to take these emails and have them in a separate place. So Gmail doesn't have folders. We might be familiar with the folder method from Outlook or other email programs, but Gmail uses labels. And if you were to take your Gmail account and have it funneled through your Outlook account so you could see your Gmail in Outlook, then the labels that are in Gmail will show up as folders in Outlook. So they're kind of seen as the same thing, but if you Google Gmail and folders, right now it'll show up as labels. Okay, so we're gonna make labels, and these labels are gonna show up on the left side of our screen as a place where we're gonna take those emails, and then we're gonna make a filter so that things can happen a bit more automated. So to make a label, you're gonna actually go to your settings. Let's do that first. So go to settings, and then, so that cogwheel in the top right, and then see all settings, and then labels. Right after the general tab, there's labels. And I have a number of labels already, so you can see mine. Some of mine have come over from an older version of Gmail, so they kind of have that bracket around it. My newer ones don't have those brackets. So projects and reading, I did that label probably years and years and years ago. Work remotely is a label that I just did. And if you scroll all the way down, Teams is a label I just did. Junk and internal and deleted, these are ones that come with and you're always going to have. So that's not something you want to be deleting or getting rid of. But let's create a new label. So create new label. I'm going to create one for an email that I get from a mind mapping software system. And if I want to keep track of all the mind mapping information I get, it's going to be handy for me to just have a label called mind mapping. So I'm going to type that in, mind mapping. Now that's the name of my label. I could have it nest underneath something, so under something that's existing. So I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm not going to have it do that, but I just want to show you what nesting looks like. So if I say nest label under, then I get a little drop down of all the existing labels I have right now that I can have it go under. So again, I don't want to pick that, so I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to choose create. So by the way, work remotely here is nested underneath reading. So that's an example of nesting. So my mind mapping one is right here. Okay. So that's creating the label. I'm going to go out of here, go back to my inbox. And I want you to look on the left side of my screen and notice mind mapping is a little label that's showing up on my left side of my screen. My background image maybe is hard to see that word mind mapping there, but hopefully you can read it. So that's step number one. I have the label ready. Now I want to have some messages being specified as that label. That's step number two. And my third thing I'm going to do, it's actually going to be part of step two, but that's optional for you, is to automatically have it go in there and not stay in my inbox. I'm going to get my inbox empty and get rid of all these emails that come in all the time for different reasons and have a place for them to go. So mind mapping. So you see MindMeister, that's one of the emails that I'm getting. That is going to be one of those ones that goes into that mind mapping label. So one of the easiest ways to do this is I could just click on this email And then I can go to the 3 dots on the right side of that email and choose filter messages like this. And so what that does is it immediately creates for me a filter based on who the sender is. So this is kind of handy because then I don't have to copy and paste that sender name. And it's putting this information into the filter area at the top of my screen. So this is really what I want to say, because every one of those emails is coming from the same sender name. If it wasn't, then you might not be doing this. Maybe if it was a subject word that you're looking for, you have those options as well. So I'll do a second example with words or a subject. Okay, so we have the sender's name. I want to go create filter. And then from here, I want to say as soon as that email comes in, that should have that label on it. So I'm going to say apply the label, and then I'm going to choose that mind mapping label. Okay, so I could be done right now, and then I could be set for the next time an email comes in from that address. Okay, that could be all it is. But I'm just going to go a few more steps here. So I'm a few more little check marks. You don't have to do all of these. I'm just going to show you what they are, and you can decide if you're comfortable doing these as well. So the next step I'm going to go is I'm going to say, you know what, I have some already in my inbox, so it'd be kind of nice for me to actually filter out those ones. So it says, use this filter on the 6 matching conversations. So it's noticing right away in my inbox, I already have 6 messages from this sender. And it's kind of wondering, do you want me to put this label on those 6 messages? And yes, I do. I want those labels to go on that message. So that's great. So I'm going to get that done. Now, so another thing I'm going to do is that if this is, a situation where it's kind of like a news, well, in this example, this is coming from a software company, and they're just kind of sending me information about their particular software or their app. And so there's no action really. It's just maybe for my research that I want to use this. So I don't have to have it show up in my inbox. I can just have it filed right away. And so that's where I'm going to do this next step. And that's the one that's optional for you, is whether you wanted to have it filed right away and not even go to your inbox. And so I'm going to choose this first thing here that says skip the inbox entirely. So the next time an email comes in from this sender, it will not appear in my inbox. It'll just go straight to that label that is called mind mapping. So I could say mark as read. I'm going to leave that off just because, if I do get a new email in, maybe I want to notice that there is a new email there. So that way I can see the email. I'll see the bolding showing me that there's a new message. Okay. So I'm going to choose create filter. So now if I go to mind mapping, let's see what happens. I'm going to click on mind mapping, and all of those emails went in there or are showing up in there. Let's go back to the inbox and see if they're in the inbox as well. Yeah, so if I look at my inbox right now, there's no emails from that sender in my inbox. So that's what this, skip the inbox has done for me. And actually, sorry, what did it for me was saying the ones that are existing right now, move them over. That's what that did. Okay, so hopefully you like that idea. So that's a quick way of getting all those in there. Now, what you could do, of course, is you could just type in the sender's name up top here in the search email, or a word or a phrase or an email address right here, and that'll let you find that group, and then you could drag it. So let's say I wanted to do something with, let's pick on eBay. So let's say I want to find all the emails from eBay, and I don't feel like doing a filter. Filters are good though, by the way, for emails that you get in constantly. So technically I should be doing one for eBay because they do send me emails all the time. So a filter would be good because every time I get one, it would then do something with that email. But let's just say, for the sake of interest here, if I type in this search area eBay and then press enter, that just shows me all my eBay messages, right? So that's all the emails I'm getting from eBay. And let's say I think, okay, I appreciate getting those messages just to see what they've got, but I don't really need to keep any of these. I can then click on this box at the very top here to select them all. So it's only selecting eBay ones, and now hit the delete. So it's now deleting those messages. Okay. So now if I go back to my inbox and look, there's nothing that says eBay in there. So that's without the filter. I just did a search, looked for eBay, said delete. Now that doesn't stop them from sending me more messages. I'm still going to get more messages, so I can see them and delete them as I want. But this way I can at least deal with some of the clutter that's accumulated that I didn't get rid of previously, right? So that's kind of another idea for you. Now, another thing I can do with the labels is I can use it to just allow me to see certain messages easily because it'll have the label beside it. So let me talk to you a little bit about that without the example of moving it to another place. So that when I just finished doing the mind mapping, it literally moved those messages out of my inbox into mind mapping. And again, remember, if I was looking at my Gmail account in Outlook, this mind mapping would show up as a folder in Outlook. It's seen as a label in Gmail, folder in Outlook. Okay, so all these messages are together. All right, so let's create a label that appears within the inbox, doesn't move the messages anywhere, but just lets you see messages in a special way. Let's create one for Team Success. So I'm going to hit the arrow here on the right side of my search bar. And then Team Success, if I'm certain that those two words are in the subject line of the emails that I want to see quickly, I can type in Teams Success in that subject line. If I wasn't sure of that for sure, then I might want to say has those words, which means it's looking at the body of the email to see if those words are in the body of the email. So I'll just say, because of the example I'm using, Team Success is in the subject lines. And then I'm going to create a filter because I wanted to do something. If I hit search right now, I would just find all those emails. Filter goes one step further by making some automation behind it. And so the automation I want to apply a label. So I'm going to click on the drop down here, and where it says apply the label, I'm going to choose, I do have a label called Teams. Let's just make a new one though. Let's just use Success or Team Success. Maybe let's say Team Success. Team Success. Now I could say nest under Teams, which might make sense. Create that. So it does put it there on the left side. But let's say that's all I want to do. I don't want to skip the inbox, so I don't want those emails to go out of the inbox. I do want it to apply this label information to what I have in the inbox right now. So I do want to say apply, and I'm going to choose create filter. All right, so if you notice, I have this gray label appearing in my inbox that's showing Team Success, because so it's nested under the team. So we may not like that look, but I'm just going to keep it like that. I have another label, by the way, it says projects under some of my emails, but the one we just did was the Team Success one. So let's just scroll down and see what other ones we have here. There's that one, and there's that one. So this example, I'm not telling it to skip the inbox. It still stays in the inbox. And I told it to do this filter on what's existing, right? But if I look on the left side, I still will see those emails separated for me. So it still creates that separation. It just allows me to still see it when it's coming in and staying in my inbox. Okay, so now be careful of this one though, because we told it not to skip the inbox so that it could show up in the inbox and we could see it here easily when email comes in. If we decide we want to delete it, let's say we're maybe don't want to see it in our inbox because we think, okay, well, you know what, let's say this one here, March 31st, it has the green check mark and it says the Team Success Blueprint login. If I go to my Team Success area, it says March 31st, and there's that green check mark. So that one looks like the same one, right? If I go to the inbox and say, well, I've already got it in my label there, let's just go and get rid of it. I don't need it in both places. That it's not like how your other systems work. So this is kind of a difference with Gmail here. So Gmail's put a label on it. It's not physically creating two copies of that email. Whereas if we were in Outlook and we saw the same email in two folders, we would expect it to be two copies of that email. And if we got rid of one, it wouldn't get rid of the other one. Gmail is not putting it in two folders. It's putting one label on the email, but letting you visually see it in two places. So it's kind of a little trick here. So if I now go and look for that March 31st email with that green check mark in my team success here, it's gone, right? So how do I find it? I'm going to go to my trash to get it back. So let's just go there quickly. So I'm going to go to more and then trash. And where's the one? So this is it here. The Team Success Blueprint, March 31st. The green check mark's gone. But let's drag it back to the inbox. And now it's back in there. Okay, so that's important for you to realize. If you are going to do a label on something, but you're going to tell it to not skip the inbox because you want to see it here, then if you want to clean up your inbox and get your messages more organized and not be seeing all this extra clutter from days gone by, then when you have read it and know what it's about and want to file it, then I suggest, even though I know when you click here on Team Success, you see the green check mark, you see March 31st, it seems like it's there, I still want you to go from the inbox, drag it over to Team Success, and then it's out of the inbox, so it's no longer showing there. March 31st does not show that Teams email with the green check mark. And if I go here to Team Success, it is showing it in there. So I haven't deleted it. I've just physically said, you know what, I don't want it to show up in both places. Let's just have you drag, I'm just going to drag it to the one location. So a little bit of a different kind of concept for us to get our heads around, because if you've used other email programs, it seems to work a bit differently, but that's the mechanics of it. So hopefully that'll help you go about doing what you need to do. So we want to organize our email based on some common denominator. Maybe it's an email, the sender email address, maybe it's the words in the subject line or in the message body, and then create those labels. And if you're okay with skipping the inbox, then have it go straight to the label area on the left. If you don't want to skip the inbox, then just realize it's going to show up in both places, but really only be one copy. All right, so that's your homework. Okay, so to check out what this area on the right is about, check my other video. But this video was intended for you to understand how to take a group of emails, create that filter, and have the filter happening at the moment an email arrives in your inbox so that it can help you classify your emails better. And classifying in Google's terms is using a label. All right, so thanks for watching. Bye-bye.